Do you think the current focus on soft skills and personality development in management education is appropriate, or would you like to see more focus on technical skills?
Managers have to have technical orientation. They have to have a technical bent of mind, and they have to be mentally prepared to go in detail, take a deep dive. If you have the mindset that we know we will only swim on the top, we will float on the top without going through any depth, then it doesn't work. There has to be a preparedness to take a deep dive if required. And in fact, there is a new term evolving, it's called techno managers. Okay. Managers who are technically also very sound and they are prepared to take a deep dive in technology when time comes. Okay. So I think the need is for having more and more techno managers. Rather than somebody who is just playing with an Excel sheet or PPT and beating everybody with those numbers. No. You require somebody who can genuinely himself take a deep dive. See, what happens is that managers at senior levels are taught to have a helicopter view of the situation. It's nice, helicopter view may look bewitching, even for most mundane scenarios. And you don't see the real pain points in a helicopter view. But also it's a fact that somebody who's having helicopter view, he cannot change any situation on the ground unless his feet are on ground. So we require management grads whose feet are on ground. They know the ground realities. Okay. And they are not just having helicopter view and deciding based on some overall oversimplified data points. Okay. They have to be ready to go into detail. Now, ironically, what happens that many times in corporate offices, you have very senior level people, say an HR person. Now, when it comes to downsizing, there may be some business requirement where this thing may come. Generally, they are reluctant to go in detail while doing that. Because they say if we go in detail, then it will be very difficult to do anything. So they choose deliberately to shut their eyes, restrict only to helicopter view, don't come anywhere near the ground reality, and then decide something based on that. Now that is, I think, doing more damage to the situation. Okay. Managing complexity is an attribute which is required. But first of all, we should have all the effort to reduce complexity. We should not have to manage complexity. But then, okay, if it has to be managed, yes, you have to have somebody who is used to dealing with complexity and who is not shying off away from complexity by doing oversimplification. I have seen many top managers retorting when they are shown a lot of data. Don't show me, I don't have time. Just show me, tell me the summary. In a single slide, just show me this data. Means the people are not mentally ready to go in detail. They can't deal with the details. That is the problem. They should be ready to deal with the details. One good thing about the management is, and what ought to be, I believe, is management courses do one thing very good, that they give an idea of proportions, an idea of magnitudes. Otherwise, you catch hold of any graduate engineer, ask him, what do you think is the government's expenditure per day? How much do you think it costs to ply city buses for each day? Now, normally, graduate engineers are never taught to have the idea of such magnitudes. But management education, through their training, does inculcate this aspect that, okay, if somebody walks into a factory or is standing in front of a building, is able to immediately estimate what would be the cost of this approximately. And how much worth of work would be done in this particular factory. At a glance, they develop a sense to be able to predict fairly accurately. Now, that kind of training is indeed very useful. So this is something which we should be doing more. Giving an idea of magnitudes, giving an idea of response times, giving an idea of, what it takes, what input gives what output, the transfer function in technical terms. Yes.